There is a rhythm to history that repeats itself like an echo slipping through time. Empires rise with fire in their lungs, rule with confidence in their stride, and then, almost always, they decay from within. Some fall loudly, collapsing in flames. Others fade slowly, quietly, like a giant going to sleep. But the pattern is unmistakable. Rome, Spain, Britain. And now the United States stands at a crossroads, its reflection flickering in the same mirror that showed the faces of fallen giants. Our story begins long before America was even imagined. In the dusty heart of the ancient world, Rome marched across continents, building roads, cities, laws, and legacies that still breathe today. The Romans believed their empire was eternal. They called it the eternal city, the center of the world, a place too mighty to crumble. For centuries, they were right. They conquered with discipline, they governed with structure. Their economy thrived on trade, gold, and the spoils of never-ending expansion. But empires are like living organisms. They grow, they consume, and eventually they strain under their own weight. Rome's greatest enemy wasn't a barbarian army, it was time. Inflation hollowed the value of their currency as emperors stretched their wealth by mixing worthless metals into coins. Debt grew while corruption seeped into the Senate like rot. The military's loyalty shifted from the state to ambitious generals seeking power. And when the borders grew too large to defend, cracks appeared across the empire's foundation. One province rebelled, another fell to invaders. The economy withered. The roads that once connected the empire now carried news of defeat. And slowly, the world watched the impossible happen. Rome collapsed. Centuries later, Spain rose from the ashes of medieval chaos. Its ships cut across the ocean, carrying gold and silver from the Americas, so much wealth that Spain believed it had secured its dominance forever. For a while, it did. Treasure fleets returned home heavy with riches. Castles gleamed. The royal court drowned in luxury. But this wealth, instead of fueling sustainable growth, became a trap. Precious metal flooded Spain's economy, causing prices to soar. Inflation tore apart the value of money. Instead of building industry, Spain imported everything it needed. Nations that sold goods to Spain grew rich. Spain itself became dependent, hollowed by easy wealth. A nation addicted to treasure never bothered to build its own strength. By the time Spain realized this, it was too late. War debts mounted, enemies circled, and the once mighty empire with the world's largest navy found itself unable to pay for ships that could actually float. Spain did not collapse in a single moment. It simply slipped into decline, slowly losing the power it once commanded. Then came Britain, a small island that built an empire so vast the sun never set on it. Britain mastered trade, industry, and finance. Steamships carried British goods to every corner of the world. London became the economic heartbeat of the planet. And for a time, the British Empire appeared unbreakable. But even the strongest foundations can crack. 2 world wars drained the treasury. Debt piled up like rubble. The pound sterling, once the world's reserve currency, began to weaken. Colonies demanded independence. Global power shifted westward as the United States rose. Britain did not fall, it shrank. The empire dissolved not through dramatic destruction, but through exhaustion as decades of financial strain and geopolitical pressure forced it to step back from the throne of global dominance. And now, the United States stands where all great empires once stood. Its rise was meteoric. Born from revolution, fueled by ambition, and powered by innovation, the U.S. became the modern Rome. Its economy dwarfed the world. Its military bases stretched across continents. Its dollar became the backbone of global trade. For decades, It seemed untouchable, but history never forgets its patterns. At first, the signs were subtle. Factories quietly shut down or moved overseas. Debt began to climb, not gradually, but exponentially. The government borrowed to fund wars, to rescue banks, to stimulate growth, to keep promises that far exceeded its revenue. Trillions turned into numbers ordinary Americans couldn't even imagine. Then came the printing presses, the modern form of ancient Rome's debased coins. Dollars were created faster than the economy could absorb them. Inflation crept into daily life groceries, fuel, rent. Everything grew heavier on the shoulders of ordinary families. The empire began to feel strain. The political arena fractured. Parties fought not over solutions, but over power. Compromise, once the backbone of the American system, evaporated. Confidence in institutions weakened. Suspicion replaced unity. And while the nation argued internally, global rivals advanced quietly and strategically. The world that once depended on the dollar started searching for alternatives. Trade agreements bypassed the U.S. currency. Emerging economies strengthened their ties with one another. Wars, once distant echoes, began reshaping global alliances. And the American military, spread across the world like Rome's legions, required a river of money to maintain. The empire was no longer growing, it was maintaining. And maintenance is expensive. Inside the country, infrastructure aged. Roads cracked. Bridges weakened. Cities struggled. Social divisions deepened as economic pressures squeezed communities. Meanwhile, foreign debt buyers, the very countries funding America's lifestyle, began to question how long the system could last. History whispered warnings. Rome ignored them. Spain ignored them. Britain ignored them. And now America stands at the same turning point. But collapse is rarely a sudden fall. More often, it's a slow unraveling, a fading of confidence, a gradual weakening until the once mighty power is simply no longer the center of the world. Still, this story is not yet finished. No empire collapses overnight. The United States still holds immense strength, innovation, technology, culture, resources, and a population capable of extraordinary reinvention. But the pattern remains. The weight of debt, the erosion of unity, the inflation that chips away at the middle class, the currency that the world is beginning to challenge. These are not just problems. They are markers, signposts seen again and again throughout history. The real question is not whether an empire faces challenges. Every empire does. The question is how it responds. Rome drowned in its own arrogance. Spain in its dependence on easy wealth. Britain in the cost of global wars. America faces a different test. The test of sustainability in a world changing faster than ever before. If it adapts, it can write a new chapter. If it refuses, history may write the ending for it. And somewhere, in the quiet spaces of late night conversations, people wonder, are we watching another empire reach its breaking point? Or are we witnessing a transformation that could redefine what power means? The answer lies in the choices ahead. But history offers one final, eternal lesson. Empires fall not when they are weak, but when they believe they are too strong to fail. No nation is immune to economic gravity. No currency lasts forever. No dominance stays unchallenged. Every empire in history said the same words. It won't happen to us. And every empire was wrong. As we step back and look at the long arc of history, from Rome's golden triumphs to Spain's silver fleets, from Britain's global reach to America's modern empire, we see not a sequence of unrelated stories, but a cycle, a warning, a reminder that power is temporary, wealth is fragile, and the greatest threat always comes from within. For those watching today, wondering what the future will hold, one truth stands above all others, an empire's fate is not decided by the strength it once had, but by the courage it finds in the moments when decline begins. And somewhere in this cycle, in the tension between rise and fall, lies the destiny of the modern world. Whether the United States becomes another chapter in the long list of fallen empires or breaks the pattern and redefines its own path depends on what happens next. Because history is not only a mirror, it is a warning. And the warning is clear: nothing lasts forever. Not even the greatest empires the world has ever seen.